Major Irving to show up for. Looking forward to seeing her again. Met her several years ago when we came down to the Richmond City Jail, and then we went out to the Henrico Jail, and she and Sheriff Wade out at Henrico did everything that was necessary for us to do the show out there, and for some reason we could not get the time and the scheduling down, and I still owe Major Irving a show out of the cell block out at Henrico Jail. Let's go with Spencer in Richmond. Spencer, you're on the Jack Gravely Show.
Good afternoon, Mr. Gravely.
Hey, Spencer.
I've got a question for you about the Obama administration and especially this Affordable Care Health plan. And I'm not sure if I didn't hear your station.
Open topic. Anything you want to talk about, open topic.
Okay. The debacle of the website and everything, to me, demonstrates the overloaded number of academics and visionaries in the Obama administration and not enough hammer and nail people.
You may very well be right, because they had received the memo from some lower down employees or individuals in there, and they said this thing is not right. It was not alpha or beta tested. There was no shakedown cruise on it, and you do it months ahead, not weeks ahead. You do it months ahead. And it's obviously debacle is the best name that you use in the description of it, and I would agree with it. And now, when you go back and look at Romney's program, they said the first couple of weeks or whatever it was, Romney's program pushed out, Romney program in Massachusetts pushed out 123 people in the first couple of months or something like that. And by the end of the year, they had 36,000 people up for it. And hopefully this will happen with the Obama administration.
But, you know, my only problem with his administration is, I mean, they only had a year to plan on this, or over a year.
Oh, they had longer than that, Spencer. They had upwards of 2 years.
I was being generous with that.
Okay, all right.
To me, it shows a lack of the ABC ability of the administration to carry out the EFG visions.
Yep. But let me tell you, they have no way to go but up. One way to go but up. And I think a lot of people are saying if they can get the wrinkles worked out and get the right people in there, it should go forward. But how do you roll out your signature program like this? And the criticism that President Barack Obama and his people are receiving, I think much of it is merited.
I appreciate your honesty and your forthrightness, Jack. As always, have a good day.
Thanks a lot, Spencer. Appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been telling you on my Facebook, we're going to go to a break before we bring her on. My final sheriff candidate interview is in the studio this morning. And she is going to be with us. I had the paperwork around here somewhere this morning. Right here we go. Sheriff Antoinette Irving, not that I didn't know her name. I just wanted to get the paperwork and the runoff and the information, did a little background a search in what she was doing. Last time I saw her, I think she was a lieutenant. Maybe. Yeah, she's a major now. And she's still with Henrico Sheriff Department. And lives in Churchill. Not a bad place to live in Richmond, Virginia. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna take an early break. Can we take an early break? Or we're gonna take a next call. Then we're gonna take an early break, and then we're gonna come back with Major Irving, candidate for the Sheriff Department here in the city of Richmond, and we're looking forward to talking to her again. Let me take this call. Let's go down to South Richmond. Bobby, you're on the Jack Gravely Show.
Hey, good show, Jack. Always.
Thank you, man.
Guys making strong charges out there, man. These candidates making strong charges. My comment is this: good colleges about Obama just brought all these brought the affordable health care out, kind of debacle and stuff. All that. Everything Obama did, he has to fight for everything. They laid down for Bush for anything. The only thing they had to say, you're unpatriotic, and they went for it.
Right.
But with Obama, he got to make a fight. Everything he rolled out, it's a fight. Somebody are going against him. There's nothing that he's done
that they didn't have to fight for.
He didn't have to fight. This man got to fight everything he do. He could be bringing a bunch of donuts into the room to Congress, and they don't want the donut. You know what I'm saying? They want damages. You know.
Come on, Bobby. Bobby, let's be honest. I'm an Obama man. Voted for him twice. would vote for him again. But Bobby, Bobby, can't you give a little bit? But Bobby, this is his signature program, and he can't roll it out any better than this, man. Come on, Bobby.
I'm trying to figure out.
No matter what your opposition is doing, man.
You need strong foot soldiers out there. You need to hire somebody out there who can. I know how to shop in China, like some type of person kind of with a mindset that he has shop on their feet. You need to hire somebody like that in his administration to any more little implications and things he want to bring out. He need to have them bring it out for him, roll it out. I don't know what Joe Biden's doing out. I haven't heard from him. I don't even know what Joe Biden.
Joe Biden is coming back. In fact, Joe Biden is going to be campaigning for McAuliffe and the Democratic ticket in Northern Virginia this weekend. Joe Biden will be out there. Hey, look, Bobby, I got to go get ready for my guest coming on. Thanks for the call, man. And give, I have no problem giving President Barack Obama all of my support, but they should have rolled this program out a little better. Thanks a lot, Bobby.
All
right, man. Ladies and gentlemen, break time, 2 minutes, coming back, and we're going to have Major Irving here on the Jack Gravely Show. She's going to take us to the top of the hour, and we're going to be gone for the day. Stay with us.
Just say you will, say you will.
Jack will be right back. Call into the show at 788-0990.
My name is Lamont Kizzy, and I'm running for sheriff because I care. I care about the city and its citizens. I care about the inmates and employees. I care about the sheriff office and the image it projects. I have served Richmond as a deputy sheriff for over 30 years. I have worked under 3 administrations. This gives me the privilege to know what works, but most important, what does not work. That experience is what saved lives. When you care, nepotism does not exist. When you care, favoritism does not exist. When you care, unfair policy towards inmates and staff does not exist. When you care, death of inmates from negligence does not exist. These are issues that I would like to address as sheriff. Training, hiring practices, promotion policy, recidivism, lawsuits, overcrowding. Because I care, I know you care. Vote November the 5th, Lamont Kizzy for sheriff. It's time for change, and change is now. Paid for and authorized by Lamont Kizzy for sheriff.
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Hi. I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
Well, before I left my campsite, I was putting out my fire, and out of nowhere, Smokey Bear showed up and hugged me.
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. He likes it when people correctly put out their campfires. He's pretty big on wildfire prevention. He's just letting you know you did good with a hug. He's a hugger.
I just got a bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update.
All right, I'm going to let you go now. I've got a lot of ranger stuff to do. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
Now, back to the Jack Gravely Show on WLEE News Talk 990.
Just say you will, say you will. Say you will.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for staying with me on the Jack Gravely Show, coming to you from WLEE in Richmond, Virginia. I have in the studio with me Major Antoinette Irving. Born, raised, and currently live in the city of Richmond, Church Hill to be exact. She has 24 years of experience in law enforcement in the Henrico Sheriff Department. She has received all type of awards. She has a master's degree, and I just found out from Major Irving, she's working on her doctorate degree in criminal justice. You talking about some good people running for sheriff in the city of Richmond. She's one of them. Sheriff Irving, excuse me. Major Irving, excuse me. Major Irving, welcome to the Jack Gravely Show.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Nice seeing you again. It's been a while. I still owe you a remote broadcast from your jail. And I haven't forgotten about it. Major Irving, why do you want to be sheriff of Richmond, Virginia? Tell my listening audience why you want to be.
I basically want to be sheriff of the city of Richmond because I care about Richmond. I care about the city of Richmond. I care about the people in Richmond. And I care about the reputation of Richmond. Right now, the city of Richmond reputation is not very high at all. People are not thinking very pleasantly in reference to the sheriff's office. But I want to make sure that the citizens and the inmates in the city of Richmond and inside of the city jail can be provided with the basic life, health, and safety issues and needs that they are provided for. Basic life, health, and safety is paramount in running an institution.
And you don't think Sheriff Woody is doing that now?
Well, currently, as we know, that the death rate is 2.5% higher than any other facility that you can name at this particular time, and a lot of it comes from, we know people are going to be sickly, but just because you're sick does not mean that you should not be treated. And you need to be treated at the point of your need and at the impact of your need. If you're sick, we need to provide you with treatment at that point. We can't wait till it gets to a point of a dire emergency. A lot of individuals are going to come to the jail because the majority of individuals that are incarcerated have some type of drug problem or substance abuse issue as over time has done something to their body.
So if that is the case, what would you...
Just brought up leadership being one, observation by your staff, making sure that your staff's trained, the management and how you run things, and the medical staff and the mental health staff that you have working for you, and all that comes about because of the administration that you have. You have to be a part of what's going on. You don't have to be hands-on in everything every day, but you should be knowing what's going on in your facility. Your inmates shouldn't have to, I heard that Mr. Kazee
Man, this radio station keeps cutting out.
Upgrade.
You want to know what's going on with your staff members.
And you want to know the inmates.
You want to know the inmates.
Good receiver.
Positive, negative, they like me or they don't. I guarantee you they can say that I'm fair, consistent, and I make sure I take care of their needs.
So you have told us the reason why you want to run for sheriff is because you care about the city of Richmond. If you are elected sheriff of the city of Richmond, what are some policies or changes or programs that Major Irving would institute at Richmond City Jail?
Well, what we want to do is meet inmates at their point of need. We want to make sure that inmates are provided with programs and services that are going to help them to become better people. There are some people that are going to get out of the jail and that are not going to go into the penitentiary. So what we want to do is make sure that we can provide them with things inside the facility, finding out why it is that they're committing the crimes that they're committing, and then try to figure out what resources we can connect them with, what treatment programs we can connect them with, what resources, what programs, what services, what things we can connect them with while they're there so that they can grow into them, and then we connect them with a resource when they leave and not just drop them and say, okay, goodbye, you're released, we don't have anything else to do with you. We want to be able to work with the nonprofits, the community leaders, the government leaders. We want to be able to work with the churches. We want to be able to work with those organizations, business leaders. They're that's promising and prospering. So we want to make sure that we can connect those individuals and let them know that this is all about hope. The hope that you can do better, you can be better, and that there's a better life out there for you. Because right now, it's an instantaneous society. The economy is not doing very well. You guys were just talking about the Obama health care.
Yes.
It's a lot of things that people feel that they're grasping at air. They don't even have straws to grasp it. They're grasping at air, and they're trying to figure out, how do I survive? And everybody doesn't make the right choices when they're up against the wall.
A sheriff the home if you will. What would be your policy on hiring folk on your staff?
What we want to do in reference to hiring people, because there are some good people at Richmond, there are some people that have been there a long time. We want to make sure that those individuals that are hired are qualified to do the jobs that they're supposed to be doing. We want to make sure that we train people to be in the positions that they're in, whether it's a line staff member, whether it's a supervisor, administrator, or manager. We want to make sure that we hire people that want to be there, that want to do a good job, and can be trained and work hard in what it is that they do.
Use the term qualified off the top of your answer. could I reasonably infer that you are slightly saying that Sheriff Woody have hired people that were not qualified for positions?
Being qualified for a position means that you're able to be trained. Means that I'm not just hiring you because I know you, that I'm related to you, that somebody asked me to do them a favor. Even if someone asks you that, you still need to know what that person has to bring to the table. So we want to make sure that people are qualified. All the time people say, can I get a job? Can I get a job? And people are wanting jobs. And if you hire people that are not qualified, there are people out there that are qualified for certain positions, and you're looking over those individuals because of doing favors or doing something for someone that you know. I'm not saying that in any job, whether it's private or whether it's public, that people don't hire people they know. But you want to make sure that people are qualified, and you want to be able to train those individuals. Training in the Department of Criminal Justice Services and with Department of Corrections, training is on an annual basis. We need to make sure that people are trainable and that we can train those individuals. There have been allegations that the family members that he has hired were not qualified at the particular time when they were hired. There were some of his family members that had some type of background, but you want to make sure that people are qualified and that people are able to be trained and that you can train people to do the best possible job that you can. Because there are some good people that are already at the city of Richmond. You just can't say, I'm going to fire everybody if I get elected to sheriff. You can't do that. No one can run an organization like that.
You stated that the Richmond City Jail may not have a glowing reputation around the area or among sheriff departments around the area or around the state. Why would you make a statement like that? What do you attribute that statement to?
For one, you see that even just this morning, the Sheriff Woody and the city of Richmond was in the paper for a lawsuit in reference to one of his previous employees. In reference to a false allegation and wanting to know who leaked the story about family members being hired. And if that was no issue about family members being hired, what's the problem with somebody talking about it? If they're hired and they're qualified, who cares? And so, we want to make sure, and just think about death. We know that people are going to be sick. I can't say that enough. But you want to make sure people are treated fairly. Whether they're sick, whether they have a mental health issue, whether they're just not going along with the rules or whatever it is, you want to treat people fairly. People are human beings. People, the individuals that are incarcerated is someone's family member. You want to make sure that if that was your family member, that your family member was treated with the best possible services that they can do.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have with me on the Jack Bradley Show here at WLEE News Talk 980, Major Antoinette Irvin. She's a major in the Sheriff Department out in Henrico County. She lives in the city of Richmond. She was born, educated, and still lives in the city of Richmond. She wants to be your sheriff. And in reference to being the sheriff, I think you have to ask her why. What do you bring? What type of skills does Major Irvin and abilities and experiences Major Irvin bring to the table that would make you a better sheriff than C.T.
I want to start out with, you've already talked about my educational background. I have a master's degree in administration. I'm currently working on completing my dissertation for criminal justice management. And basically, my doctorate in my dissertation for criminal justice management. I've worked in the sheriff's office for 25 years. This is my anniversary month, the 25th year. And I've started out as a line staff member, turning keys and counting and observing inmates and watching their behaviors and just
all of your time being in Henrico?
All of my 25 years has been with the sheriff's office. I've worked in various areas. I teach while I'm there. I'm a certified instructor. I'm a specialized instructor. I communicate well with individuals. I watch. I learn. I'm always trying to find out what the source of things are and where it is that we can get to the next level. My thing is treat people the way you even better than you would want to be treated. Treat people like, you would want your parent treated, and the thing that I do is I get out there and I interact with individuals. I interact with my staff. I interact with the inmates. I interact with the contractors. I've worked in all the positions. I've worked my way up in the sheriff's office, and as you know, that couldn't be an easy feat being in a male-dominated field to go from a line staff member to every ranking that there was in the department to get to be a major. It hasn't been easy road, but it was a road that has taught me a valuable lesson as far as interacting with people and working with people. And I do a good job at working with people. I communicate with individuals. I may not always tell you what you want to hear because it's sometimes that medicine that you need to hear. So inmates understand that I'm fair, I'm consistent, I'm firm, I'm direct, but it's not that they won't come to me and provide information to me. It's not that they won't come to me and ask me something if they need something. It's not that they don't know that if there's a problem with them, that I'm not going to help them with that problem. The family members, they call in, they talk. I speak with family members all the time. That's what we do. And they say I'm from Henrico. Yes, I am. Henrico's doing a good job. It's 25 years of smooth operation, and we've had several different sheriffs. It's been smooth operations over at Henrico Sheriff's Office. We do some great things over there. We have programs over there that we want to work on the behavior, the mindset, and the attitude of individuals. And I've been doing that for 25 years. I treat people fairly. I work hard every day. It's not just that, I want to be the sheriff because it's just the thing to do. We have 4 people running. I feel that I am the best qualified candidate to be sheriff in the city of Richmond. I feel that I'm the best person to meet the inmates at the point of their needs, as well as provide good customer service in the other areas that we have in the city.
So saying all of that, what 2 or 3 elements or 2 or 3 traits must a person bring to the sheriff office to be a successful sheriff? What are 2 or 3 things you got to have in your toolkit in order to be a good sheriff?
You've got to be able to communicate with individuals. You have to be a good leader, and you have to be a person of your word. You have to be able to do that. You have to treat people the right way. You have to treat people the right way, whether they're inmates, whether they're citizens, whether they're staff members. You shouldn't have to bully somebody to make them do what it is that you want them to do. You shouldn't have to intimidate people.
But Major Irvin, you're dealing with a felon. Some people would say, I'm giving you a little pushback here. Major Irvin, you're dealing with outlaws. You're dealing with thugs. You're dealing with criminals. You're dealing with felons. And you better have a strong constitution about you. And if they don't, they're going to run you out of the sheriff's office.
Not so. Okay. You can deal with people in a stern and firm way and communicate with people at their level. And you have to be able to communicate with different people at different levels. And I feel I can do that, whether it's a person that's in there for murder or a person that's in there for driving, not saying they should be in there together at the same time, but you have to be able to meet people at the point of impact. And individuals are not always going to be pleasant. They're not going to have a good day. If you have 45 years or a life sentence, you're going to have a good day every day, other than you waking up in the morning. But you have to be able to deal with that person. You have to be consistent with that person. If you decide one day you want to be this way and one day you want to be another way, they know that. They have time to sit there and watch you and figure you and determine that you're just not a person of good character and you're not a person of integrity. And you have to have those characteristics in order to be able to talk with individuals.
Sheriff Irvin, Major Irvin, I have to go to a break of about 4 minutes. When we come back, I have 2 final questions, and I'm going to open up the phone for Q's and A's for those of you. I want to ask you whether or not you feel the media has been fair in covering this race, number 1. And number 2, I want to ask you an age-old question. Do you think by you being a female in a race with 3 males, has that impacted, or have you seen anything that would have you to question that you're not given a fair deal simply because you're a female? Jack Gravely Show, going to break. When we come back, we'll have some time for some calls for Major. Keep on to say shit. Major.
Stick around. The Jack Gravely Show will be right back on WLEE News Talk 990.
Some of America's bravest warriors are returning home wounded. Here's one of them.
My name is Norberto Lara. I served for 11 years in the United States Army. While I was on a combat patrol in Baqaba, Iraq, a rocket-propelled grenade took my arm off at the shoulder. When I came home, I felt alone. My family was around me, but I couldn't talk to them about what I'd seen and what I'd done. I remember just thinking, man, the way I am right now, I don't want to live. I was discharged from the Army, and I've been working with the Wounded Warrior Project since 2007. You don't have to be severely wounded to be with the Wounded Warrior Project. We do have a lot of guys that have post-traumatic stress disorder. being able to share your story, I guess it kind of helps you wrap your mind around what did happen over there. Just because you've left the military doesn't mean your life is over, because when these guys are coming home, I'm kind of leading and training them. Instead of for combat, I'm leading and training them to heal. If I come away with anything from Wounded Warrior Project, it's them giving my life back. My name is Norby, and yes, I do suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, but I'm okay.
Don't suffer in silence. Contact WoundedWarriorProject.org.
Confessions of a Potentially Perfect Parent, brought to you by AdoptUsKids.org.
I might look like an adult, like a person who could possibly be a parent, but I have no idea how to talk like one. And everyone knows that if you want to be a parent, you have to sound good when you say things like, "Don't make me turn this car around," or "Because I said so," or "Don't make me come back there." I don't even really know what those things mean, but I know that I actually believed my parents when they said them to me. How did they manage to sound so convincing? Here we go. "Don't make me come back there." Oh, no, that's not tough enough at all. Kids can sense weakness. "Don't make me come back there." Ooh, yeah, that's better. In fact, that kind of sounded like my dad. Weird.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to listen to you practice your dad voice. Call 1-888-200-4005 or visit AdoptUsKids.org for more information. This message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council. Unexpected reactions to smart financial decisions brought to you by FeedThePig.org.
Well, I finally did it. I opened a 401k.
So you're giving up? Just like that?
Giving up on what?
I'm getting an inheritance from a distant relative.
Don't you think if there were a billionaire in the family, we'd know about it by now?
Listen to me. We are one phone call away from riding horses on our own private polo grounds. One call from christening yachts, having a butler, using summer as a verb.
How do you figure?
Look, everyone's got a rich uncle somewhere. It's statistics. So the best thing you can do is just prepare for the inevitable.
Right, which is why I thought maybe it would be smart to take control of my finances. You know, start using a budget, get out of debt, set some retirement goals.
Budgets? Debt? You watch your mouth. Retirement shouldn't be a goal for us. It should be a way of life.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at FeedThePig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Corporal John Vale was injured on patrol in Kuwait.
The truck flipped. The vehicle landed on me. I realized I can't move my legs. I'm looking for one person, one contact that can help me.
When John arrived at the VA, there was someone. Stephen Bush of Paralyzed Veterans of America. He helped John with his claim and became his advocate to get him back into life.
When I approach someone that's newly injured, I want them to feel comfortable that they're not alone.
For over 65 years, Paralyzed Veterans of America, through their National Service Officers, has helped hundreds of thousands of veterans get the care and benefits they've earned. And their service is free to America's veterans and their families. If you need help with a claim or just navigating the system, contact us at pva.org. Paralyzed Veterans of America, changing lives, building futures.
Now, back to the Jack Gravely Show on WLEE News Talk 990.
Thank you so very much for standing with me on the Jack Gravely Show. Look, I'm not trying to put Major Irvin on the spot. This is my position. Based upon what I am hearing now and have heard in the other two interviews, I have to ask the question, why haven't the media, the print and the broadcast media, have not given more time to this race? I think there are some substantive issues that's been raised. The general public need to hear them, whether you agree with them or not. And I don't care who the sheriff is. I think the media has fallen down on this job. And Major Irvin, if you have any comments about my comment, you're welcome to do so. You don't have to. I know you're in the race for sheriff and you don't want to possibly bite the hand that may give you press and publicity and may invite you for an interview. But I certainly do not think that you all have received a fair share from the media. And then the other point I want to make is the point of whether or not you have felt that your gender in any way has stymied or caused you any problems in running for sheriff of the city of Richmond. I know we've had female sheriff before, but being a female, has it presented any problems for you in your opinion?
As far as my running for sheriff, I don't feel that my gender or me being a female has had anything to do with the race. I'm hoping that it's only a positive, and it's looked at that, I can be a good sheriff regardless of what the gender is, as far as what my background gives to this race. As far as the media coverage, I know that there's a heavy gubernatorial race going on, and people are very undecided as far as which way they're going to go, regardless of what their normal stance is. So the media has paid a lot of attention to that race to ensure that people get out and vote, because it's important to get out and vote.
Yeah.
What people don't understand is it's not just the large elections or the presidential elections. We need people to get out and vote at every election. And the thing about Virginia is there's a vote every year. So, there's a responsibility of us as people to get out and vote. And it's a responsibility for us as people, if the media is not covering certain races, that the people get with the media and let the media know how they feel about every race that there is. The people of the city can always say what they feel about the sheriff's race, or if they feel that the sheriff's office is of high integrity and what needs to happen with the sheriff's office. And a lot of times people don't really care about what happens at the sheriff's office until it directly affects you and inside of your household. So it's our responsibility as a people to ensure that the media covers every race and covers every part of the race, so that they can make sure that the city is well taken care of and the city has high integrity, and that the leadership of the city is the leadership that the people of the city want.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to open up the phone for any calls that you may have, or question or comment to Major Irvin, 788-0990. I know my time is short, and we're pushing toward the news at the top of the hour, but if you have a question or a comment that you would like to make to Major Irvin, she's a candidate for sheriff. C.T. Woody would be in the house Monday morning at 9:30. You can call us now at 788-0990. My toll-free number is 877-953-3990. I feel a little bad because she has not been given as much time for Q&As as others. Beverly, you have a question or comment for Major Irvin, and my time is real short.
Okay, Major Irvin. My issue with this whole sheriff's race is, are you planning to hire any of your family members?
That's not in my plan.
Okay, good. Because I know that Sheriff Woody, that was his main thing from his plank when he ran last time, I guess, Sheriff Whistler. Because she had maybe 2 or 3 members in her family that were on the payroll.
Yes, ma'am.
And I wanted to be perfectly clear about that. Whether it's your plan or not, I am not in favor of nepotism. And I am whoever's going to be in there, whether it continues to be Woody or not, I will be following that nepotism plan.
Okay.
And thank you for your honesty for answering that.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you very much, Beverly. Ladies and gentlemen, Jack Gravely Show. We're almost out of here. Major Irvin, who's running for sheriff in the city of Richmond. We've had Mr. Kazee. We had Mr. Dorsey. We're going to have C.T. Woody on Monday morning at 9:30. So if you have a question or comment in the time, we have about 2 or 3 minutes left. If you have a question or comment in the short time that we have left with Major Irvin, feel free to call and ask your question. We think this is a service that needs to be done. Excuse me. Thank you. Done here in the city of Richmond. You need to know what's going on. You need to hear the candidates that's running to be your sheriff. You need to hear directly from them, and that's what we've tried to present to you here on the Jack Gravely Show this morning. Candidates that's running for your sheriff in your city, enforcing your laws. Let's go to Jeffrey. Jeffrey, my time is real short. You got a question?
Yeah, I'd like to make this comment. I hear what everybody's running for sheriff and everybody's trying to correct the system, but I don't understand why they don't ever talk about taking things from the top. As long as Virginia doesn't have parole, nobody has a chance to redeem themselves. How could you expect somebody...
But Jeffrey, the sheriff of Richmond has nothing to do with what the parole board does. Nothing to do. These are
the kind of things that they should try to correct.
But Sheriff, Major Irvin, would you reply to that?
Jeffrey, the way that I respond to that, that goes back to being a part of the community and being a part of the electoral process, going out and voting and making sure that the General Assembly is aware of what your stances are on certain things so that individuals can have their rights and feel that they have hope after they get out of the system. So we want to make sure that you're a part of the community, working in your local organizations to make sure that you can be a part of what the parole system is all about.
All right, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
All right, he's gone. Did you hear a reply?
I didn't hear it.
You didn't hear it? Where were you? Don't tell me. I got to get out of here. I got less than 30 seconds left. Thanks a lot, Jeffrey. Major Urban, thank you again for being on the Jack Gravely Show. Appreciate you coming in. Wish you the very best. We're going to follow the race on Monday and Tuesday, and we'll let folk know. Ladies and gentlemen, walk real slow, drink plenty of water. Gone.